what feels like a little bit of chaos. This is so out of our comfort zone. I just don't think I can stress that enough. Welcome back to another day in Bali. Today we are headed to Penglipuran village. More about that in a minute. This was our last night at Tejaprana Bhisma. That is the name of the villas that we've been staying at, and it has been amazing. The staff who work here are incredible. Our private pool has been amazing, and we've been able to use the outdoor space for filming. We are really gonna miss Tejaprana Bhisma. Now on to what we're doing today. We hired a driver for the first time in Bali. We're a little bit nervous about this. We had to negotiate, and we are headed to Penglipuran village. Now this is a village where they have managed to preserve the local Balinese way of life. And there are no cars there, and we don't really know what to expect. Probably a squatty potty. Every day I wake up and I wonder, is today the day I have to learn how to use a squatty potty? But we are really looking forward to seeing it. And then we are off to more island adventures tomorrow. But first, Penglipuran village. Let's get going.
Thank you very much.
Our driver asked us, do you want to see some local wood carving? We said, sure, we love the process of wood carving, but we're not going to buy anything. The work that they do here is beautiful. They have a demonstration outside. They have lots of different kinds of local wood that they're using. And we also got to see how the little, I think they're maybe banana leaves or palm leaves come together to make the offerings that we've been seeing everywhere around Ubud.
But we're not going to buy anything.
We're suckers. We bought some beautiful things to take back. One as a gift and one for ourselves.
All right, now that we've done some retail damage, we're going to go on to the next thing.
Penglipuran village is a traditional village that has managed to welcome tourists into it while still retaining an old world charm. We love places that don't allow cars. The village was so incredibly well preserved and maintained that we wondered, do people actually live here, or is this all for show? Our driver and guide took us into one of the complexes where we met a family that does indeed live there. In fact, just under 1,000 villagers call Penglipuran home. Every home that's in Bali has their own temple used for worshiping. It's the family temple. And the one for the compound that we're in right now is right behind Bill. The building that's on my right is actually used for their ceremonies, and the one on the left is the kitchen. And all of this is made from bamboo. The roofs are bamboo, the walls are bamboo. It's really neat to see bamboo used for homes. Bamboo really does play a heavy part in building materials, and each family is required to have at least one building that uses traditional construction methods and materials.
If they come to Bali, if they're not coming here, I think it's not complete for us. Hello.
This huge thing behind Heather is a clump of bamboo, and she looks tiny.
The bamboo forest surrounding the village is some of the best bamboo that can be found anywhere on Bali. And this bamboo is used right within Penglipuran. Today we are in Padang Bai, which is where we spent the night last night. We are here waiting for a ferry to head to Nusa Penida. It has been quite the adventure to get here. We're trying to sort through what feels like a little bit of chaos in order to get our ticket to actually take the car ferry over to Nusa Penida. The process is very undocumented, which is very different for us. We asked yesterday, what time does the ferry come? And one person told us 8:30, somebody else told us 9, we heard 10, we heard 11, I've read online it might not be till 1 or 2. So we really don't know when we're gonna leave. This is so out of our comfort zone. I just don't think I can stress that enough. Since the process is difficult to find online, if you want to go to Nusa Penida by the car ferry, also known as the slow ferry, also known as the least expensive way to get to Nusa Penida, here's what you need to know. They are going off of a cashless system right now for the ferry. So what you need to do first is buy a local refillable money card. We buy the ticket with people. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, first step complete.
It'll look something like this, and you buy this with a small surcharge attached to it from a hut that's near where the ferry leaves from. Then you will go and stand in line for the ferry, and this is the part that is about to happen for us, but what I understand is that we'll stand in line after the trucks go on, after the cars go on, after the mopeds go on, then the people go on, and we'll pay for our crossing at that time. I better go find out what's going on. I can see some vehicles on the move.
Okay. The only way to buy the ticket is to stand in line behind the cars. We misunderstood, and turns out that we don't have to wait in line with the other cars. We have to wait for the cars to go through, so we just misunderstood. There's lots of helpful people around telling us where to go. Sometimes it's hard to know which ones are trying to sell you something, and all these guys are trying to sell tickets to the fast ferry. We're not interested in their assistance. Anyway, it's an adventure.
These motorcycles should be the end of people getting onto the Lombok ferry, and the red truck is the start of Nusa Penida. At least that's what the truck driver told me. Note the sign on the ticket office says Nusa Penida for everything. Forget about Lombok, I don't know. Also, yeah, that was a really cool Vespa. By the way, it might be worth mentioning that one of these car ferries sort of kind of sank in 2020, so So I just took my head around the corner because we started seeing a bunch of trucks behind us, and it looks like a second car ferry has come into port. It is currently having things come out of it, and there's a different one having things going into it, so we need to make sure we get on the right car ferry or we're going to end up on the wrong island. We have many sheets of paper. These do not include the ones that he filed away into separate drawers. So it worked to use the card to pay for our tickets. I got all this paper, but there was so much more that printed out. And he put 2 over here in this drawer, and 2 over here in this drawer, and 1 went over here, and that was per ticket. I don't know what all the paper was for. Trees somewhere are very sorry. He didn't speak much English, so I had to reach through the window to type my name in for our boarding passes. But it looks like we're set, so let's go get on our ferry.
We just have to make sure we get on the right ferry. They say we're going in the right direction.
For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails.
And we made it.
I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn.
Well, we made it to Nusa Penida. Finally! Our hotels have been a little bit of a struggle today. Our first one, the hotel workers weren't there. It was completely closed. And while we were waiting, we saw a pretty big rat. And it went into the kitchen.
About this big. It was big.
we bailed. It was not an expensive place. We just walked a block down the road and we're staying somewhere else that has a beautiful view over the ocean.
Without any furry friends.
In case you're wondering what $17 gets you in Nusa Penida.
For $17 you get a little bungalow. It is little. And you get a pool and a really nice view overlooking Nusa Lembongan and Bali.
The most amazing view. Oh wow, for $17. Yeah, so we just came down to town to try to find somewhere else to stay for tomorrow night. We've got to be somewhere that's closer to restaurants, so tomorrow night will change. So tomorrow we are planning on seeing Nusa Penida, and from what we've seen so far, it's going to be a beautiful day. So we'll catch you in the next video. Welcome back to another day in Bali. We are stopping at crap.